After the Church officially recognized the apparitions in 1862, Lourdes rapidly developed into a major pilgrimage destination. The local authorities and the Church constructed chapels and infrastructure to accommodate the growing number of pilgrims. The first chapel was built near the Grotto of Massabielle, and over time, several larger basilicas were erected, including the Basilica of the Immaculate Conception, Upper Basilica, the Basilica of Our Lady of the Rosary, and the underground Basilica of St. Pius X. The Lourdes Spring, revealed during the apparitions, became central to the pilgrimage experience. Pilgrims bathe in or drink the water from the spring, which many believe has healing properties. The Lourdes Medical Bureau, established in 1883, is an official church body that investigates reported miraculous healings. To date, over 70 healings have been officially recognized by the Church as miraculous, following strict medical examination. The Catholic Church distinguishes between public revelation, which ended with the death of the last apostle, and private revelations such as Bernadette's visions. While private revelations can be approved as worthy of belief, Catholics are not required to believe in them as part of the Church's doctrine. In the case of Lourdes, the Church's recognition affirms that the apparitions are consistent with Catholic faith and morals, and that they inspire devotion. The Church encourages pilgrims to seek spiritual renewal and conversion through the messages of Lourdes, which emphasize prayer, penance, and humility. Popes have frequently supported the Lourdes pilgrimage. For example, Pope John Paul II visited Lourdes several times and credited the sanctuary with strengthening his faith. Pope Benedict XVI and Pope Francis have also spoken about the importance of Lourdes as a place of hope and healing. Lourdes has grown to become one of the world's most visited religious sites, with an estimated 6 million pilgrims annually. This includes not only Catholics, but people of various faiths and backgrounds seeking spiritual solace, healing, or peace. The pilgrimage has had significant economic and social effects on the town of Lourdes, transforming it from a quiet rural community into a bustling center of religious tourism. Hotels, shops, and services catering to pilgrims contribute to the local economy. On a cultural level, Lourdes has inspired countless works of art, literature, and film. Bernadette's story has been portrayed in numerous biographies, documentaries, and movies, highlighting her humility and the spiritual depth of her experiences. Bernadette Soubirous remains a symbol of faith, simplicity, and perseverance. Her canonization in 1933 further solidified her status within the Church and among the faithful worldwide. Her incorrupt body, on display in the convent of Saint-Gildard in Nevers, continues to attract visitors and devotees. Her message, as conveyed by the Church, focuses on trusting in God, living a humble life, and caring for others. This message has resonated through the generations, especially during times of hardship and uncertainty. One of the unique aspects of Lourdes is its systematic and scientific approach to claims of miraculous healings. The Lourdes Medical Bureau was established in 1883 by the Church to scrutinize all reports of cures attributed to the waters or intercession of Our Lady of Lourdes. The Bureau is composed of medical doctors and specialists who are independent and not involved in the Church hierarchy, ensuring objectivity. When a pilgrim reports a healing, they must provide comprehensive medical documentation of their condition before visiting Lourdes. The investigation follows a rigorous protocol. Verification of medical history. Prior medical records must confirm the presence of an illness considered incurable or serious by contemporary medical standards. Examination of healing. After the reported cure, independent doctors examine the patient thoroughly to determine the absence of any medical explanation. Sustained cure. The healing must be lasting and permanent, not a temporary remission or improvement. No medical treatment. The cure should not be attributable to recent medical treatments. Once the Bureau completes its investigations, a detailed report is submitted to the Lourdes authorities and ultimately to the Vatican's Congregation for the Causes of Saints. To date, over 7,000 cases have been examined, but only about 70 have met the strict criteria to be recognized as miraculous by the Church. Lourdes continues to hold profound spiritual significance for Catholics worldwide. Beyond the quest for physical healing, many pilgrims seek inner peace, spiritual renewal, and deeper faith. The messages associated with Lourdes emphasize themes such as prayer, penance, conversion, and trust in God's mercy. Lourdes is also a center for those with disabilities and chronic illnesses. The pilgrimage fosters a powerful sense of community and solidarity among pilgrims and caregivers. Special events and organized pilgrimages accommodate the sick and the disabled, offering support beyond physical healing. In recent decades, Lourdes has embraced modern technology and media to spread its message globally. Live-streamed masses, virtual tours, and international events allow people unable to travel to Lourdes to participate spiritually. Lourdes remains one of the largest pilgrimage sites worldwide, alongside places like the Vatican, Fatima, and Santiago de Compostela. Its appeal transcends nationalities, cultures, and even religious denominations, drawing millions annually. This broad appeal has led to an increasingly diverse pilgrim population. While predominantly Catholic, Lourdes also welcomes visitors from other Christian denominations and even non-Christian faiths, many of whom are drawn by the reputation of the waters or the serenity of the sanctuary. Pilgrimage to Lourdes has also adapted to modern concerns. Environmental sustainability initiatives, accessibility improvements, and enhanced health and safety protocols have been implemented, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic. The pilgrimage economy remains vital for the region, but church authorities stress that Lourdes is first and foremost a spiritual destination rather than a tourist attraction. Bernadette Soubirous, born in 1844 in Lourdes, lived a life marked by humility and deep faith following her experiences at the grotto. Early life and apparitions. At the age of 14, Bernadette reported 18 apparitions of the Virgin Mary between February and July 1858. During these apparitions, Mary identified herself as the Immaculate Conception, a doctrine only formally defined by the Church 4 years prior, after the apparitions. Bernadette's life changed dramatically. She faced skepticism and even hostility from some locals and church authorities, but remained steadfast in her testimony. Religious life. In 1866, Bernadette entered the Sisters of Charity at Nevers. She lived a life of quiet service, suffering from poor health, including chronic asthma and tuberculosis, death and legacy. Bernadette died at the age of 35 in 1879. Her incorrupt body is displayed in the convent of St. Gildard in Nevers, attracting pilgrims who view it as a sign of her sanctity. Bernadette's cause for sainthood began soon after her death. The Church carefully investigated her life and the authenticity of the Lourdes apparitions. Beatification. Bernadette was beatified by Pope Pius XI on June 14, 1925. Canonization. She was canonized as a saint by the same pope on December 8, 1933. The Church officially recognizes the Lourdes apparitions as authentic and continues to promote devotion to Our Lady of Lourdes worldwide. Following the apparitions reported by Bernadette Soubirous in 1858, Lourdes quickly transformed from a small, relatively unknown village in the foothills of the Pyrenees into one of the most important Catholic pilgrimage sites in the world. The development of the Lourdes sanctuary was driven by both religious enthusiasm and careful ecclesiastical oversight, leading to the creation of a complex that continues to welcome millions annually. Immediately after the apparitions, local church authorities began to investigate Bernadette's claims. Once the apparitions were approved as genuine by the Bishop of Tarbes, a modest chapel was built at the Grotto of Massabielle, where the visions took place. This chapel was constructed in 1864, only 6 years after the final apparition. The spring itself, the source of the miraculous water, became a focal point. Pilgrims began to gather, often using makeshift pools or basins to bathe or drink the water. However, as numbers grew, more formal facilities were needed to accommodate the influx and preserve the sanctity and safety of the site. The first major structure was the crypt basilica, built underground beneath the future main basilica. Construction began in 1866 and was completed by 1871. This basilica was designed in a Neo-Byzantine style and intended to protect the grotto itself, preserving it as a place of quiet prayer and reflection. The crypt basilica allowed pilgrims to attend Mass and other religious services close to the site of the apparitions, while sheltering them from the sometimes harsh weather of the Pyrenees. By the late 19th century, Lourdes' popularity had grown enormously. To accommodate increasing numbers, the Rosary Basilica was built above the crypt basilica. Completed in 1899, it features a distinctive Romanesque Byzantine architectural style with colorful mosaics illustrating the mysteries of the Rosary, a fitting tribute since the Virgin Mary had emphasized prayer and penance in her messages. The basilica includes a prominent bell tower and is renowned for its vibrant, detailed artwork depicting scenes from the life of Mary and Christ, reinforcing the devotional focus on the Virgin Mary as revealed to Bernadette. Often referred to simply as the Upper Basilica, this neo-Gothic structure was completed before the Rosary Basilica in 1876. It sits on a rocky outcrop overlooking the grotto and is dedicated to the Immaculate Conception, the very title the Virgin Mary gave during her apparitions. This basilica became the central place for masses and large liturgical celebrations in Lourdes, its towering spires visible from afar, symbolizing both spiritual aspiration and the triumph of faith. Over time, several other structures were added. The Stations of the Cross. Along a path known as the Way of the Cross, pilgrims can meditate on the 14 stations of Jesus' Passion, with life-size bronze sculptures created in the early 20th century. The Chapel of Eucharistic Adoration, designed for continuous prayer and adoration. This chapel reflects Lourdes' dual role as a place of healing and spiritual renewal. Modern facilities. Over the 20th and 21st centuries, facilities such as large underground parking, accommodation centers, and medical services were developed to handle millions of pilgrims each year. The Bernadette Chapel, completed 1988, a modern structure dedicated to Saint Bernadette, located near the grotto, allowing for more intimate devotional activities. Together, these developments have created a sprawling sanctuary complex that blends reverence for the apparitions with practical infrastructure to serve pilgrims' spiritual and physical needs. To maintain credibility and respect, Lourdes established the Lourdes Medical Bureau in 1883, which rigorously investigates reported cures. Its role adds a scientific and ethical dimension to the pilgrimage, reassuring skeptics and believers alike. The Bureau reviews medical documentation and follows strict criteria before any cure is declared miraculous, preserving Lourdes' unique position as a site of faith and reason coexisting. Lourdes' annual pilgrimages have had profound impacts. They have popularized Marian devotion worldwide, inspiring countless similar shrines and devotional practices. The sanctuary serves as a symbol of hope for the sick, marginalized, and spiritually searching. Lourdes has inspired theological reflection on the nature of miracles, suffering, and faith. The steady influx of pilgrims has transformed Lourdes economically and culturally, turning it into a cosmopolitan hub with pilgrims from over 150 countries. One of the most remarkable and unique aspects of Lourdes is the institutionalized scientific approach to investigating the numerous claims of miraculous healing attributed to the water of the spring and the site itself. This has helped Lourdes maintain credibility in both religious and secular contexts. The Lourdes Medical Bureau was founded in 1883 by the Archbishop of Tarbes, following growing reports of extraordinary healings. The purpose was to evaluate these claims rigorously, using the best medical knowledge available to distinguish genuine miracles from natural recoveries or psychosomatic effects. The Bureau is staffed by an international team of physicians and medical experts, often including specialists in various fields such as oncology, neurology, orthopedics, and internal medicine. The investigation of a potential miracle at Lourdes follows a stringent multi-step protocol. Documentation of the original illness. The petitioner must submit detailed medical records showing a serious, chronic, and incurable illness or condition prior to their visit to Lourdes. Verification of the healing. After the reported cure, medical experts examine the patient thoroughly to verify the disappearance or remission of the disease. Duration of observation. To rule out temporary or spontaneous remission, the healing must be permanent. A minimum of 5 years of follow-up medical observation is required, often much longer. No medical explanation. The healing must be instantaneous, complete, and lasting, with no scientific or medical explanation for the cure. Approval by the Bureau. After thorough evaluation, the Medical Bureau votes on whether the healing meets the criteria of a miracle. Final ecclesiastical approval. The findings are submitted to the local bishop and, if affirmed, to the Vatican's Congregation for the Causes of Saints for final recognition. Since its establishment, the Lourdes Medical Bureau has officially recognized around 70 miraculous cures as meeting these stringent criteria. These recognized cures cover a wide range of ailments, including paralysis, cancer, blindness, and severe infections. Though the number might seem modest compared to the millions of pilgrims who visit Lourdes, the strict standards enhance the credibility and respect Lourdes commands globally. Some famous recognized cures include the cure of Sister Marie Bailey, 1909. A nun suffering from severe tuberculosis, cured after bathing in the spring water. Bernard Hirth, 1949. A man paralyzed by poliomyelitis who experienced sudden and lasting recovery. Audrey Santo, 1987 to 2007. Though not officially recognized by the Lourdes Bureau, the story of Audrey, an American girl with severe brain damage reportedly experiencing spiritual healing, has drawn comparisons.